All right, I got to share this story with you guys here, man. This is so crazy. Dad shot daughter after arguing about Donald Trump. So this is not good. This is not good. Here's the daughter right here. She was very young, very heartbreaking. Her name is Lucy Harrison. She was killed in Prosper, Texas. Let me walk you through this. A British woman, so she's British, but I think her dad is American. Her mom is British. She lives in the UK. She came to Texas to see her dad. It may have been, I think, during the holidays, okay? Listen to this. A British woman who was shot dead by her father while visiting his home in Texas had argued with him about U.S. President Donald Trump earlier that day, an inquest has heard. Lucy Harrison from Warrington in Cheshire was shot in the chest on January 10th, 2025 in Prosper near Dallas. Police in the town investigated the 23-year-old's death as possible manslaughter, but no criminal case was brought against Chris Harrison after a grand jury in Collin County declined to indict him. So you're going to hear the story and how she died, and the fact that they declined to indict him, to me, is sketchy as fuck, bro. It is immensely, immensely sketchy. An inquest into Lucy Harrison's death opened earlier at Cheshire Coroner's Court, where her boyfriend Sam Lidler described the big argument about Trump, who was preparing to be inaugurated for a second term of office. Lidler, who traveled to the U.S. with Lucy Harrison for the holidays, said she would often become upset with her father when he spoke about owning a gun. The inquest also heard how Chris Harrison, who moved to the U.S. when his daughter was a child, had previously been to rehab for alcohol addiction, so he was an alcoholic. Chris Harrison, who did not attend the inquest, admitted in a statement sent to the court that he had relapsed on the day of the shooting and had drunk about 500 milliliters of white wine. Lidler said on the morning of January 10th, his partner had asked her father during the Trump row, "How would you feel if I was the girl in that situation and I'd been sexually assaulted?" So I guess it sounds like they were talking about like some Epstein type shit. Like Trump, sexually assaulting girls. Chris Harrison had replied that he had two other daughters who lived with him, so it would not upset him very much. Oh my God. Lidler said Lucy became quite upset and ran upstairs. Man, that's fun. You say to your own daughter, you're the daughter I'm the least close with, so whatever if he were to diddle you. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. What is wrong with people? Jesus Christ. He told the court that later that day, about half an hour before they were due to leave to go to the airport, Lucy had been in the kitchen when her father took her by the hand and led her into his ground floor bedroom. Lidler said he heard a loud bang about 15 seconds later, and then Chris Harrison screamed for his wife, Heather. Lidler said, "I remember running into the room and Lucy was lying on the floor near the entrance to the bathroom and Chris was just screaming, just sort of nonsense." The statement from Chris Harrison said he and his daughter had been watching a news item on gun crime when he told her he had a gun and asked her if she wanted to see it. They went into the bedroom so he could show her a Glock 9mm semi-automatic handgun, which he kept in the bedside cabinet. Harrison said he bought the gun a couple of years before because he wanted a sense of security for his family. He denied ever discussing it with his daughter before. He said, "As I lifted the gun to show her, I suddenly heard a loud bang. I did not understand what happened. Lucy immediately fell." Harrison said he could not recall whether his finger was on the trigger. He acknowledged he had issues with alcohol in the past and said he briefly lapsed on the day that his daughter's death because he was emotional about her leaving. The inquest heard police officer Luciana Escalera, whose evidence was read, noticed the smell of alcohol on Harrison's breath when he was called to the house after the shooting. CCTV footage showed he had bought two 500-milliliter cartons of Chardonnay from a 7-Eleven. Force of Life. Anna Samuel, representing Chris Harrison, made an application at the state of the hearing for the coroner, Jacqueline Devenish, to recuse herself from the case, saying a fair-minded observer may conclude there was a real possibility she was biased. She said the inquest had been conducted in a manner more akin to a criminal investigation than a fact-finding inquiry. And they go on here. But basically, they have a fight about Trump. He says to her later in the day, "Come into my room," and then a gunshot goes off and she's dead. And not even an indictment. What? Even under a best-case scenario where this had nothing to do with the Trump fight, and it was just like, "Oh yeah, I want to show you my gun," and as you show him the gun, it accidentally went off and she died. Even under that scenario, it is manslaughter. That is a crime still. So, what the fuck gives? But here you have a 23-year-old who was told by her dad that same day that I wouldn't really care if Trump molested you or harassed you because I have other daughters, so it's whatever. I mean, come on, man. Is the cult now just executing family members? Because I got to be honest with you, I wouldn't even be that surprised if it was intentional, if it was totally on purpose. I wouldn't even be that surprised. And the fact that there hasn't been an indictment, shit, the Fed should step in. But of course, the Feds are not gonna, because the Feds are gonna look out for the Trump supporter, right? Because it's the Trump regime, and they're all fucking hacks. They're all, total sycophants to Trump. So there's just going to be no justice as a result of this. So, I mean, just what a fucking horrible, heartbreaking story. And every part of it is red flagville to me. Every single part of this. From the fact that he was an alcoholic, but, I relapsed, but only on that day. Oh, really? Why should I believe that? Why should I believe it's only on that day? Well, from my perspective, you could just fucking lie about that and you're drunk every day, all the fucking time, right? But the Trump fight, I mean, the shit you said there is beyond hurtful and beyond disgusting. It's truly like depraved, telling your daughter you don't care what happens to her because you support Trump. I mean, what the fuck? And then bringing her in the room and her winding up dead after you shot her and you admit you shot her. It's just, is it an accident or is it not? I mean, Jesus Christ. The lack of justice and accountability in this country, I really think, is historically unparalleled. Like, it really does seem like every other developed country has a better system where their justice is delivered a higher percentage of the time, right? Because when you look at this, when you look at the Epstein class getting away with it and like nobody being indicted, the only person, Jeffrey Epstein is dead, Ghislaine Maxwell's in basically a resort prison, and then none of the other co-conspirators are fucking, the 10 of them that were working directly with Epstein, the 29 that the DOJ made a deal with, none of them are in trouble. Trump's not in trouble. Howard Lutnick's not in trouble. The people who are in the emails talking about torturing are not in trouble. None of them are in trouble. Like, what is this? What is this? They need to be careful because as soon as people realize, as soon as even the facade of a serious, intelligent justice system goes away, then people internalize, oh, there is no justice. We have to be our own justice. And that's when you get vigilante justice. That's when you get rampant political violence, is when people think the actual system that's set up is bogus. It's fake. It's not real. Like, there's nobody you can appeal to when there's a problem. So you're fucking on your own. And it's looking more and more like we're on our own. And so people will take away from that, okay, I guess it's in our hands now. Like, we have to bring about our own justice. And that's when you see the breakdown of law and order. Checks and balances gone, law and order gone, our democracy gone. And we're there. I mean, we're fucking teetering on the motherfucking edge at the very least. At the very least. Now, apparently, if you're MAGA and you're an alcoholic, you can murder your daughter and get away with it without even a motherfucking slap on the wrist, y'all. That is crazy. All right, guys. That's the show. You know I love you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. You, of course, can subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon. You can support the show on Patreon and support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack, or tip with that thanks button that's below me here on YouTube. Remember, this is real independent media, and you guys make it work. And, of course, go sub to the Corns World YouTube channel. I love y'all, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.